Hey everybody, welcome to Meddkit's Provider Spotlight, where every week we are diving in and chatting with new providers, people in different specialties, and most importantly, getting new perspectives. Healthcare is an interesting place to be, and so we love to dive into this little corner of the world and introduce you to some really awesome folks. And today we have a really great guest, and I want to introduce you to Dr. Jennifer Johnston, owner of Advanced Physical Therapy and Wellness in San Diego. Welcome, Dr. Jennifer.
Hey, Rachel, thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Yeah, super excited to have you. I know we have a lot to kind of pop into and dive into today, but kind of would love to start off. What I love to do is just, I think people just grab on to, who you are and the origin story. Like, what got you here? Like, what inspired you to open up, your own practice?
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of a funny story to ask me. My husband and I started the practice. Well, really, in reality, my husband started the practice. I have been a physical therapist since 2009. I actually left the field for about 8 years. I was completely over the physical therapy field. I felt like we didn't have the capacity to heal our patients. We were just constantly stuck by red tape, and it wasn't what I went to school for. It wasn't what I wanted to do. So I had actually completely left the field and was hands off, like I'm never going to be in physical therapy again. Kept my license active. Fast forward, I met my amazing husband, and he was a physical therapist. He worked for Kaiser as a home health physical therapist, and he was really happy there. Planned on staying there for the 30 years, getting his retirement, having his 4 weeks vacation. He made over six figures. He enjoyed it, and it was his long-term plan. Insert COVID, and everything in life changed for a lot of people, right?
Yep.
Uh, and he was actually one of the very first people fired from Kaiser because his religious exemption was denied. And we were left getting engaged as he was getting put on unpaid admin leave. And we were like, he's like, "Are you with me on this?" I was like, 1,000%. We will figure it out. We will be good. And we went our own way. And Owen looked at me about 2 weeks after we got engaged and said, "I'm going to start a cash-based physical therapy practice." And I said, "Great, good luck. I want nothing to do with that." He went and started it. He sought out some really great coaching, got some counseling just from other physical therapists that we knew, got some really wonderful advice and guidance. And he put his heart and soul into this practice. He scaled this practice from absolutely nothing, knowing no one, having nothing on the ground, to over six figures in the first 6 months. And I went to a retreat with him, to his current business coach, and I was blown away by what I learned at the retreat, what was going on in the practice. And I was like, okay, game on. I'm in. You are making such a difference in patients' lives. This is what I thought physical therapy was about. And my husband was so fired up over what he was able to do and what he was able to provide for our patients in that short period of time. So yeah, it was nothing either of us intended to do, nothing we expected to do. And here we are 3.5 years later, with an incredible team, and have helped over 1,000 people. It's been incredible.
I love that. Yeah, our story with Provider Spotlight is pretty similar. We just saw that private practices weren't getting, the same amount of coverage that, the hospitals were in COVID. And we were like, man, you guys are doing such great work. Like, let's give people a platform. So that's what we're doing here. And, maybe not everyone knows our story too, but I love that you had started something that you never thought you were going to do, like we did. Never thought we were going to go down this path, but here we are, enjoying it, helping other people's, helping our community, and that's what it's all about. So I would love to hear from you a little bit about the type of people that you're serving and it's kind of like the common areas that you feel like people are struggling with. I think in today's world, work from home life, I feel like everything's crazy. Like, what are people really struggling with today? Like, what do you feel like you're constantly addressing in the practice?
Yeah, great question. Great question. So the people that come to us because they want to get better. It's not because a doctor told them they had to or because they had surgery. It's because they genuinely are like, I'm not satisfied with where I am in life. They have persistent pain that they haven't been able to resolve. A lot of times we deal with a lot of patients with nerve pain that just they've been kind of told the next and only option left is surgery and they don't want to pursue that. We see a lot of athletes that are just being held back. They're not able to progress in their workouts or their activity of choice. They're constantly in this like injury cycle. What it boils down to is we see a lot of people with a lot of pain and they have, most times they have some element of back pain. We see a lot of knee, a lot of shoulder, a lot of neck, but we do see some different things like wrists and elbows and ankles and things. But I'd say if we were to pick one thing that most of our patients come in for, it's back pain because we sit too much, we're not mobile enough. We kind of go from stationary in the day and in our cars to giving it our all in a workout, and there's just no in between.
Nope.
So yeah, we really help our patients as a whole
Yeah.
get back to being pain free as they can and having as much function as they can so they can be fully present with their family. Because if we feel better in our body, we're better wives, husbands, sisters, brothers, daughters, parents, all the things. Like we're just better people if we feel good. And that's our focus is we just want our patients to really feel good.
Yeah, 100%. And pain is a huge driver, and that definitely gets people in the door. That gets people thinking about alternative methods, alternative ways of feeling better about their bodies and, getting healing with that. But in terms of, you guys are really interesting. You've had clearly a very interesting background. How would you say your approach is different than some other folks out there?
Yeah, love it. I think when people think of physical therapy, they think of the traditional insurance model.
Yeah.
And although the insurance model has a place, we'll actually tell people a lot of times, like if they're super acute after surgery, we're like, go use your insurance and see the average Joe physical therapist because that's what they're there for. They're going to do range of motion and I like kind of say the boring stuff, right?
Yeah.
They're going to put you through a protocol because you have a shoulder injury,
Hmm.
right? We are different because we don't do protocols. We don't have a single protocol in our facility. Everything we do is one-on-one personalized care. So when you come to us, it's about looking at you as a whole. Okay, so your ankle hurts. Why? Is it coming from your back? Is it coming from your knee? Your back hurts. Is it coming from your ankle? Right? We're looking at the entire chain up and down, and we're really coming up with a personalized plan for you that is going to help you as a whole feel better. So we spend an entire hour with our patients. So the doctor of physical therapy, 1 hour, no aides, no assistants. We don't have anyone but doctors. And then we treat your whole body. So we're treating more than just the one injury. So if you're going to an insurance clinic, you have a prescription for your shoulder, but your low back hurts. Well, it doesn't matter. They can only treat your shoulder. We're treating the whole thing. So we're going to treat you as a whole and address all of your injuries. And your outcome for us is not when the insurance says your visits are up or when you have enough range of motion in your shoulder. Our end of plan for you is when you're back doing the thing that you love. So that's playing volleyball for 4 hours every Saturday. That's what we're going to get you back to because that's your goal. We don't listen to anyone but you, and we guide you on how to reach those goals that are important to you. So it's about you when you walk in our door, your family. You're more than an ankle injury, a knee injury, a back injury here. You're a person that has a family and has hobbies and has a job and a life. And we address that entire picture and we get to really know our patients because we're spending an hour with them. I think the cool thing is, being a cash clinic, being a direct to consumer clinic, people are like, well, you're expensive. Really, in the end, we're actually less expensive than anything else because it takes you less time because you have more efficient care. So you're getting to your goals faster and you're addressing everything at once. So you actually are saving money and time in the end by getting that higher level of care.
Yes. And you know what? That kind of dives into a subject that I love talking to people about. There are a ton of misconceptions about healthcare in general. It is a very confusing place. But also people have their idea and they like to slip people into certain buckets once they hear something. Kind of like what you said, oh, people think about physical therapy in the traditional insurance model. You're going to put you in a protocol thing, all the things that you had mentioned, right? But the other thing that you just mentioned is that actually being cash based allows us to treat you in the way that we know you need to be treated without hindrance without outside players directing our care level for you. But then also it can be cheaper. And so along with those misconceptions that, people throw things into buckets. What would you say are some other misconceptions that people are constantly, asking you about, whether it's about types of care or I read this online, ChatGPT threw this out to me, Dr. ChatGPT this, Dr. Google that. I'm sure you get a host of questions, so would love to hear some of your maybe
Yeah.
debunking of some of these things.
I love that. Yeah. It's interesting when people initially come to us, they come with a lot of those layers. Like, oh, I think this is what's wrong with me, or my doctor friend, or my doctor, or, the chiropractor, or the massage therapist, or, whoever. And we partner with, just to have the record straight, we partner with like stretch professionals, chiropractors, acupuncturists, massage. We partner with all kinds of professionals because we know what we do really well and we know what they do really well. And we all work together to help our patients get better. But we have a lot of people come with a lot of that baggage in the beginning. And our goal in that first visit is to unravel some of that, to unpack some of that, and to give them actual answers. So at the end of the first visit, we actually pull up pictures of what that person's experiencing, whether it's nerve pain or muscle tension. And we're showing them on pictures like, this is what we're finding, and this is why it's causing your pain. So we have a lot of light bulbs go off in just that first hour people are with us because they're like, wow, yes, that is what's been going on, and no one else has been able to understand what I've been saying. Because, a patient's coming in and saying, my back hurts and it's like this and it burns and it tingles and it's like that. And then a lot of times your medical professionals are just trying to put a name on it, but they're not explaining to you why, the why and the how behind what's happening. So I would say that we have a lot of those misconceptions and questions and confusion come when people walk in the door. But even after the first visit, when they walk out, a lot of that's taken away. And I would say each subsequent visit that a patient comes with us, we actually get less of that because we explain more to them. So I really genuinely think that the way we empower our patients takes away a lot of that. Like, you often leave a doctor's appointment and you're like going because you have a question, oh, my hormones are off. And then you leave with more questions because you're like,
You're
they
like, what
just
just happened?
listed. Yeah, they're like, you literally kind of walk out like you got fire hosed and you're like, now I have to go Google everything because in 10 minutes the doctor just said a 9 million things to me. I didn't understand them. Our goal is never to have someone walk out of our door like that. So yeah, we hear some of those in the beginning, but by the time
Yeah.
people are done with us, they're articulating what's going on in their bodies better than the average doctor would, which is our actual goal. We want people to be empowered with their care, and we get to do that because of the time we spend with them.
Absolutely. And knowledge is power. And I think once you have that in place, there's so much that you can do with it and so much that you can understand and move forward in a more positive direction. And yeah, like a lot of the times I think people come out of, sitting with, a physician and they're like, what just happened? What did they say? I understood the end result, but I don't know how we got there.
Yeah.
Yeah, very common. So it's really cool. The why is super important. I love that's what you guys focus on. That's very clear in your approach, your mission. And then kind of, leaning towards that, in terms of giving either other providers advice, but also giving, maybe people a chance to move forward in a healthier way. Kind of a two-pronged question would
Yeah.
be, for obviously you guys have done such a great job in opening up your practice and, helping your community. What are some pro tips for providers that are out there that are maybe struggling or, you talked about the value of, having really great mentors and people that are behind you. In the beginning of our conversation, what are some things that providers could do that you have done in your practice that you're like, man, that has been such a game changer, whether it's something that you do every day, piece of
Yeah.
technology, pro tip, whatever that is. And then on the converse side, talking clinically, tips for patients, for everyday people that are just looking to advance their health forward. What are some easy steps that they can take right
Yeah.
now to go and do that?
Love it. Okay. So first part of the question, other practitioners. My plea to other practitioners is that you know more than you've been led to believe. You've learned so much in school. You have so much value to add. Uh, we kind of get out of school thinking we know a good amount and we want to learn more. And then we're basically told by the insurance companies that we don't know enough because our plan isn't right, or we're asking for too many visits, or we're not getting the results they want in the time they're giving us. Like we just kind of get beat down in that where we're like, I'm not getting anywhere. So I just want to say to other physical therapists out there is you have so much value to add, and you just have to put yourself out there in front of the people that want to hear it and want to get that support. And you could do so much to really step into that role as a doctor of physical therapy and change someone's pathway of their lives. So surround yourself with people that have done it.
Yep.
Get around other cash physical therapists, get in Facebook groups with other cash physical therapists. Don't go ask your dad, who has never owned a business, or, Joe Schmo, who's been the clinical director of an insurance clinic for 75 years. Like, don't ask those people if this is the right path you should be on. Get yourself around other cash PTs and understand that the gift that we get is that we get to literally impact thousands of lives because we actually are being physical therapists.
Yep.
And you can do it. You just have to be surrounded by the right people. Uh, for our patients, it's simple. I think that there's a lot of doohickeys and fancy things out there that can help you heal and recover. Um, Nothing beats physical touch. Nothing beats manual therapy. Nothing beats skilled hands-on therapy. So if you're out there and you're really one of those people that is pushing your body and you're trying to stay fit and you're trying to stay active, prioritize rest, good nutrition, high protein, hydration, get the mobility in, do the foam rolling and the stretching on a daily basis for 5-10 minutes, and find yourself a really great practitioner, whether that be a chiropractor or a physical therapist or a really good sports massage therapist. Like, find yourself the practitioner that you can see on a monthly or bi-monthly basis that can keep your body in tip-top shape, because at the end of the day, we can only do so much for our own bodies. I see one of our physical therapists on a regular basis for my body. I see a chiropractor regularly, right? We all need that hands-on approach if we want to stay fit and stay active.
Yep.
So small chunks in your daily routine. Like my husband gets up every morning and stretches for 5 to 10 minutes. And if he doesn't, his back bothers him. But if he just pauses in his day and stretches, it makes a big difference. So we just all need that small amount of time, consistency with our mobility, and get some support.
I love that. And also love practice what you preach. I love that you have your own team of folks that you're like, yep, I need help too. So, I think everyone needs it, you know? So I think this has been great, Dr. Jennifer. This has been such an awesome time chatting with you, getting to know you and how you're helping your community. But would love for you to tell folks how they can reach out, whether they're another practitioner or someone in your area that would love to learn more about your practice.
Totally. Yeah. We are really active on Instagram. It's probably the easiest place to find us. Advanced PT Wellness. That's advanced with a D, PT Wellness. You can also find us on our website, Advanced PT Wellness. And we're over on Facebook, on YouTube, and things too. But definitely Instagram and our website are going to be where you're going to find us the most active. And you can reach out if you have any questions. We'd be happy to answer them.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. And we really hope to have you on again.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, Rachel. It was such a good conversation.
Same here.